Hello, guys. Hope everybody had a good Friday. I was able to come in early, make it on time. I apologize last couple of weeks. Again, going back to the basics, we're going to be doing the, what's it called? We are going to be doing the call review first, learning the, again, habits and routine. Again, the same thing over and over until you master it. And once you master, you keep on doing it over and over just to keep fresh on your skills. And of course, in case something happens and changes, you're able to adapt to it. Let me make sure you can hear me.
Hi, Lyle, this is Ryan, and you spoke on the phone with Alex about your interest in selling your house.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, Lyle, that's great. I am calling back to verify that all the information we have is correct so that we can come to an agreement to purchase your property.
Again, confirming, this is Ryan. The reason, again, I get questions, why is it Ryan, why is it Alex? Because those names are both, can be Ryan, can be a girl and a boy, and Alex can be a boy and a girl. That's why Alex and Ryan.
Property. Is this
confirm the name, confirm the address. Okay, perfect. Well, let's get on the call real quick, sir, so we can see, we can go ahead and purchase your property. And let me ask you some questions. You ask me some questions, and again, if at the end of the day, it works out perfect, we continue. And if it doesn't, just feel comfortable telling me no. Again, no hard feelings.
a good time?
Yeah.
Awesome. And is this the best number to contact you at in case we get disconnected?
Yes.
Sounds great. Let's see here. Do you happen to have an alternative number where we may reach you at?
Confirm numbers.
No, I don't.
No, so this is the only number to reach you at. That's fine. And I do have your email address, which is great. And Lyle, you did call us because you have a house you are hoping to sell. Yes?
Yes.
Yes, fantastic. We are definitely looking for another house to buy right
So
now.
you do
Your
have a
house
property
sounds like the
you're
kind we're
hoping to
looking
sell?
for.
Yes, perfect. Well, we are in the market trying to buy something. Let me go ahead and ask you some questions. You ask me some questions, and at the end of the day, I will make you an offer. Just feel comfortable and let me know you're comfortable saying yes or no. Make sure he agrees to you. Let me take off my gun. Sorry about that, guys.
2, and this property is not currently listed with a real estate broker, correct?
From that it's not listed.
It's not listed. That's great.
Even though we can
We
make
are
money
speaking
listing
about
properties
5
as well.
Street.
Yes.
Awesome. And when asked about the amount we should assume we'll have to pay in total repair costs and worker upgrades that a lender may require and that a future buyer will ask to be fixed, you had said somewhere around $1,000?
Yes.
I mean, it's a brand new property.
Okay,
He said there was
no
only.
problem. We do buy houses in
So
any.
he said it's only $1,000 worth of repair. So again, that's a good thing when you hear that from a seller. Why? Because once you see it physically, it's never going to be $1,000. What does that equal to? Discount.
Condition from the ugliest to the most beautiful house on the block. And we actually don't ask our sellers to do any work or repairs at all. So after we buy your house, we will be the ones that'll pay for the repairs or updates if necessary. And Lyle, what's causing you to want to sell this property?
And remember, guys, if you go again, I'm going on call 16. If you look at the calls, it's always the same thing. Always the same thing. Nothing changes as far as script. Nothing changes. And again, once it becomes second nature to you, then it doesn't become a script. It's just second nature. You don't even consider it anything else.
I want to move to a different area.
Want to move to a different
And why are you
area.
moving? Again,
Wanting to move to a different area, and that's great.
There's ways you can ask that. Again, the way I ask, well, sounds like a pretty fine property. Again, is everything okay with the neighborhood, or why are you moving, or why are you selling? That kind of ask without asking, and it kind of makes it smoother to ask that question. Because a lot of clients, when you tell them, well, why are you selling? They're like, why just want to sell? Stop asking me those questions. You'll get sometimes you get them, but when with time, you'll get better as far as in case they have that rudeness, that you're able to what's it called answer right away.
Is there any specific reason why you're wanting to make the move?
Get closer to my boy.
There you go.
To your son?
Yes.
Closer to your son. That's very sweet. And we can certainly help you with that. We'd be more than happy to help you with that, actually. What have you done so far to try and sell your house?
Nothing yet.
Relax.
Nothing yet. So we are the first people you've spoken with?
Yes.
That's great. And do you have to sell this house in order to buy the next one?
Yes.
Okay, you do have
and
to.
The reason why you want to ask this question, do you need to sell this house to before you move to the next one? Because you want to make sure that they understand, okay, they got to sell this house and you're the most qualified buyer that's on the phone with them right now. Again, if the customer wants to sell it right away, quick, cash as is, no responsibilities, just sign here and then pick up your check, then definitely we're the best buyers. So you kind of knocking down all what's called competition. And you want to ask, oh, okay, do you need to sell it to move into your next house? Yes. Okay, perfect. Then you definitely, if you need to move, let's say that he said that he needs to move, let's say per se that he says he needs to move due to work, then he needs to make sure that he, what's it called, sells it, because work is not gonna wait for him to sell it. So he needs to sell it ASAP. So he won't be having either two mortgages or, worst case scenario, get fired from the new job.
Sell this one in order to buy, and that's just going to make us the perfect buyer for you. Because we're not looking for a house to live in, we can actually buy your house and close on the date of your choice. And with that being said, when would you say is the soonest you would be able to sell your house and close escrow by?
I don't know.
That question can be asked like that. Well, what do you think is the soonest you would like to get sell that house for? Sell that house at? The way that we can ask it as well is, okay, perfect. So at what day do you want to pick up your check? Remember, why did you say check and pick up? Because you're making it easy as possible for the client to be able to get his money, and it's check. So that's the end game goal of this whole conversation with them, is getting a check, getting him to that deadline, that was a finish line where he can pick up a check. So you want to ask those questions. You want to put that image in his brain and his head. Oh, I'm picking up a check. When? Okay, 2 weeks. Perfect.
Probably a couple weeks.
A couple weeks. Would you be able to close in the next 20 to 30 days?
Yeah, probably.
Yes, probably. All right. Awesome. And what is going to happen if it doesn't sell? Meaning, what are you going to do with the house, and how is that going to affect your plans to sell it?
I don't know. I'll probably. I don't know.
The reason why you want to ask that question, well, okay, perfect. That's if everything goes great, we come to an agreement and we buy it. But what happens if it doesn't sell? You want to ask that question also, again, before you ask this question, okay, oh, so you're moving, okay, perfect. So did you already were you able to buy a new house over there, or are you renting? Perfect. The reason why you want to ask that question as a prelim question to this question is that, okay, oh, so you're basically, what's it called? If it doesn't sell, you still got to move, right? Okay, so you got to pay that mortgage, and you got, again, in case this one has a mortgage. That's why part of the question you ask is paid for or not. Oh, so you're paying the rent over there, $1,200 plus another $200 here, bringing out the pain to the client. You want to bring out the pain for the client. Why? Because you want to basically, unfortunately, it is what it is. You're literally cutting all of his exits as far as countable exits. If he doesn't sell, he knows he has to pay a rent over there, a mortgage over here. The mortgage over here is on an empty house. He's losing money. He's moving for a better job, and now he's losing $200, let's say $1,000 a month just because he can't sell it. So again, it pushes you and them together as far as, you know what, we need to make it something to work right now. Maybe the price that you want is not going to be the 100K, but maybe I can do 80, but I can make sure that it gets resolved and it gets sold. You don't have to pay 2 mortgages. You lose a little bit of equity, but you get speed.
About it yet, I guess.
No, figure you just continue living in the property.
Yeah.
Okay, that's great.
Okay, and for this one, again, the
And,
motivation's not there as far as the pain point. The pain is not there because he says, oh, I'll stop the move and I can just keep on living here. Again, that's why you want to ask this question, why are you moving or why are you selling?
I understand. Have you considered simply renting or leasing it?
I don't really want to do that.
Okay, the reason why you ask this question is what if he's open to terms? What if he's open to maybe not renting it or leasing it to us, but maybe owner financing it to us? If he doesn't need the cash, we can definitely do something as far as when we owner finance it from the seller to us, and we can wrap it or use it as a lease or Airbnb. Nowadays, that's fancy.
I get that too. Sometimes it's difficult with the tenants, and they really just don't care about anybody else's property, especially if it's not theirs. So don't want to deal with that headache. I understand. And
even if that's also a way to knock down one of the avenues of the seller keeping it, or as far as your competition, because you're competing with the realtor, you're competing with keeping it, you're competing it from what's it called, him renting it, you're competing with all those things. So those are your competition, keeping it in the family. So when he says if he wants to rent it, he says no, so that competition is out of the way. But if he says yes, I want to go ahead and rent it if I don't sell it, okay, perfect. Yeah, sometimes we do get great renters and they pay you on the dot every first of the month. And sometimes you get the bad ones where they don't pay you for 3 months. You got to evict them, pay $1,200 to the attorney, and then you got to come back and fix it, paint a carpet, and fix up the things they messed up because they left in bad terms with you. In their mind, they're like, oh shit. So if I was considering renting it, and now you're telling me that best case scenario, yeah, they'll pay you every single day. Worst case scenario, they're gonna fuck up your property, and then you gotta pay to evict them. You gotta pay to fix it, and be on this trouble as far as doing it. If you have a job, hiring an attorney to file an eviction and following through, it's a process and it's costly. It's like, oh shit, maybe renting might not be the best solution for me. Maybe again, you're telling me, you're being honest with me. Maybe the best solution is just to sell it through you, because you're here already.
Well, you had mentioned that you believe the property to be worth about $49,500 in today's market.
Okay, sometimes we get stuck again. If you're doing your own calls, sorry about that. If you're doing your own calls, you might get stuck with this question, getting the price from the seller. Again, you always want to get a price from the seller because that's going to be either first of all, how much does he think the house is worth? How much does he want for the house? And then maybe you were thinking 50, he wants 80. You know what I mean? Or maybe he was thinking 80 and you want to give him. So the reason why you want to know his number, you're going to work from there down. So he wanted 50, but you were going to offer him, let's say, he wanted 50, but you were thinking 70. You're like, oh shit, no, I want to work for 50. Now, how do you get it out of the client, right? Okay, so, okay, Mr. Seller, perfect. The house sounds pretty good. Again, the conditions, it's a fair condition. It's not fully remodeled, but it makes sense for us. How much do you want for it? Again, I'm like that, and I tell my my co-caller when he does the calls, it's like, ask him, how much do you want for it? Well, how much do you, again, let me just lower my dog. And the reason why you want to ask that, like basically like a bullet through the head right away, because you don't want to be pussyfooting around anything. You want to tell the client, okay, I'm going to buy your property. I need a price. Hey, be quiet. So if he says, well, you know what? No, here's on Main Street. Okay, let me see. Okay, based on what we review, do you know where the property the street is South Street? You basically map the area. So this is Main Street, and let's say you go 2 streets down or 2 to 3 streets up, and then you search for sales there, and you search for the lowest comparable. And again, you tell them, okay, perfect. Do you know Orange Street? Oh yeah, it's 3 horses down. Okay, perfect. Well, there's a house that was sold in the last 2 weeks, in the last month, let's say 2 weeks, 3 months, whatever, make up a date range, that sold for $69,000. What do you think about that? Ask them. Asking them that's comparable to yours. You ask him, what do you think about that? And then hear how he reacts. There's 2 ways he can react. So he's already has in his head, that's probably what I'm gonna get offered. If he says, oh no, that's not my property's not worth that. Remember, we didn't ask him how much, what's it called? We didn't ask him that his house was worth 69. He's like, we asked him, there's a house that's sold for. What do you think about that? But if he reacts, oh no, my house is not worth that. Like, I didn't ask you that, sir. He's like, no, my house is not worth that. Oh no, we didn't ask. Telling you that's where that market in that area, so forth. Oh, okay. So you have enough. So you wanted to you ask him how much he wants to sell it for. You know, if he reacts like that, okay, perfect. Well, again, how much are you looking to sell it for? Again, you ask them once, he's like, oh, I just want an offer. Perfect. Okay. It's 2 months.